Hello and welcome back to the channel, and our third figure in the marathon of releases that were announced today is the Wonder Woman from the upcoming Wonder Woman 1984 film. Now, straight off the bat, I want to say that this, for me, is a fantastic release, and I personally plan to pick it up. Just a pose like this looks amazing. I've always wanted a classic Wonder Woman sort of looking suit with a head sculpt to match, and this for me does it. I think this head sculpt is pretty much spot on, and the sculpted hair is a nice addition. Obviously the rooted hair caused a lot of controversy, where you have to sort of play around with it in order to actually get it looking right, whereas this straight off the bat looks great. Whether you prefer the sculpted or rooted is down to your personal preference. Normally I prefer the rooted look, but for this particular figure I think the sculpted looks fantastic, and where it's a bit shorter than before, I don't think it would have worked in the rooted look. And you don't have to worry about sort of futzing around with it. This looks perfect right out the box. You can also see more definition in the figure overall. There's this ab definition, which I think was absent on the previous figures. I can't really comment because I didn't pick any of the previous ones up, so I don't remember. I don't really remember off the top of my head what they look like. But as I said, to me this looks fantastic. People have been moaning about the head sculpt, saying it looks off, but I don't see that at all. I think this is one of the best ones, if not the best sculpt they've done. I really wanted to pick up the Justice League figure, but the head sculpt almost threw it off for me. Well, it did throw it off, so I never picked it up. But they seem to have fixed the problem where they've not been able to capture Gal Gadot very well, and now I think they have. Also, you can see all the seamless joints. Whether they do seamless or exposed, no one's happy, so for me personally this is fine. No, I prefer the seamless look over the exposed look. Just gives it that nice clean look. Obviously you're going to damage the skin if you leave it in a pose like this, but hey ho, what are you going to do about it? You can leave it in a museum pose if you like, which is probably what I would do, but I get scared with figures like this anyway, so the colours really do look nice. They look more vibrant than the Justice League release or the BVS release, and the lasso looks really bright. That's probably just a carryover piece, but still very nice to have. One point to note though is that it doesn't seem like you're getting any weapons with this. You're literally just getting the lasso, so if that's a deal breaker for you, obviously you're going to skip out on this figure. But for me, it's annoying that it doesn't come with the weapons. I assume she doesn't use them in the film with this suit, if they're not giving them to us. But yeah, it would have been nice because it's sort of that kind of classic Wonder Woman look. But you get the lasso anyway, so you can display her with that, or just like this with the bullet dings. So it's a much more basic version when we compare it to the previous the deluxe version of the Justice League version. So if you wanted to pop this head sculpt on that figure, that's probably something I can imagine you could do, assuming everything, like the pegs, I assume all the pegs are the same. The skin tone would be the only issue I could potentially see. You do get this spinning lasso as the special edition bonus. That doesn't do a lot for me personally. That also is going to be heavy, so I don't know how well the figure's going to be able to hold it. So just the standard one is fine for me. These bullet pieces I can take or leave them. A nice assortment of hands, not too many, not too little. You get the tiara. I don't know if that's removable off the figure or if that's a bonus one. I assume it'll probably be removable, but we'll just have to see. And this base, the black is nice. I like how they've done the red and blue, but I just don't like these hexagonal bases, and I don't like what they're doing where they just have some strange logo. Like I'm not a huge fan of the side profile of her on it. I think it looks a bit sort of cheap that way. I'd prefer sort of a more basic, just design from the film almost. So yeah, that's the figure in a nutshell pretty much. Again, one that I do plan to hopefully pick up, where this face really sells it for me. The people that have said this doesn't look like her, if you just compare it straight up to like a photo like this, I don't see how you can say it doesn't. I mean, it just is, to me personally. Looks fantastic, and I don't know if it's going to be the same sculpt as the sort of golden armour version. I assume it'll be very similar at the very least. It's interesting to note that that figure has the rooted hair, whereas this has gone for the full-on sculpted. But I think, especially this back photo, it looks great. Obviously, where it's a lot longer at the back compared to the front, it's going to limit articulation heavily. You're gonna, I would worry about puncturing the sort of the rubberized skin material with the sort of tips of the hair, because they're obviously going to be quite sharp, especially on the back. That would worry me. So you're not going to get a lot of motion out of the head sculpt, but probably enough that for any pose you try and do with it, it's going to be fine. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you plan to pick it up? If so, why? And if not, why not? So that's been it for this quick brief look, and I'll see you in the next video.